Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Religiously Fit. I hope everyone is doing fine and keeping well. So guys, today's video is about how to obtain a post-graduation work permit through US-Canada border, okay, which is also called flagpolling. So recently I did flagpole, okay, and I obtained my work permit. So I'll explain first of all what is flagpolling. So there is a basic way of applying for a work permit, which every one of you might be aware of that. You go to CIC portal, you apply for a post-graduation work permit once you complete your studies. So the other way is like you travel to a Canadian US border and you apply a work permit there itself. So that's the fastest way of obtaining a work permit. You go there and you will get a work permit like same day in just couple of minutes or maybe couple of hours. So why I went to a US Canada border? Because I had applied for my work permit back in February. And as most of you know that my wife, me and my wife have been living apart for like more than 2 years now. So I just got to know sometime back, I got to know about this flagpolling concept. So I read about it on the internet, went to some YouTube channels, asked a couple of people on Facebook. People were very helpful. So I'll summarize what is the process. So if you have applied online and you are still waiting, it has been more than the processing time which is mentioned on the CIC website, which is I think more than 4.5 months. So if you have a reason, a proper solid reason because of which you think that officer might get convinced, you can directly go to the US Canada border, any of the border in South Ontario or whichever province you are living in, and there itself you can apply for that PGWP. Otherwise, if you have completed the processing time, maybe then also you can go. I am not sure about this reason, this part of the clause, but because my wife had got an interview call from the Canadian embassy and she was asked a couple of documents of mine, it was not explicitly mentioned that I have to get a work permit. Whereas for a couple of people it was explicitly mentioned in the interview letter that they need to present the post-graduation work permit of their spouse. Whereas in my case it was not explicitly mentioned, but yes, it was the other documents like job and all, letter and pay stubs, everything was required. So coming directly to the point, so I went to first of all to Rainbow Bridge, which is Niagara Falls border. So I would say never ever visit that border because that is the most, I think, busiest border among all of these. Niagara Falls, close to whatever borders are close to Niagara Falls, I should say that go to Peace Bridge, because the reason is I went to 3 borders on that Niagara, which are very close to Niagara Falls, which is first is Rainbow, which is Niagara Falls. The other one is Queenston Livingston, which is I think 20 minutes, something like that. I'm not able to pronounce the correct name, I think so, but it is Queenston Livingston, something like that, which is 20 minutes drive from Niagara. And the other is I think it's a 30 or 40 minute drive, which is Peace Bridge. So finally I went to the Peace Bridge, where you have to cross the border. You have to go to the US side. You have to go to the immigration office, which is basically present at the border itself, and there they'll be asking you a couple of questions. Why are you going back to Canada? You will have to say that okay, I'm going back for my student permit or work permit, whatever it is. They'll be taking your biometrics. They might be asking a couple of other optional questions like, is this your first time you're doing a flag polling or whatever it is. So basic questions, and then they'll hand you over a kind of slip which says your name, DOB and flag polling thing, and just you'll take that slip and you'll come back to the Canadian side. You'll pay the toll, whatever toll amount is, you have to pay the toll. The officer will be asking you, why are you coming to Canada? You'll have to tell them that I just recently, for 15 or maybe 15 minutes or maybe 1 hour back, I just crossed the border, went to US side for a flagpole. I'm coming back to Canada. I have to apply for my work permit. They'll be asking you, probably they'll be asking you for all your documents like passport, your work permit submission application, your TRV. The most important thing I would like to say is the TRV. You need to have a TRV, temporary resident visa, to enter back into Canada. If you are not having a TRV, please don't go to the US side, otherwise you won't be allowed back in Canada. So you should have a valid TRV, which has a validity status beyond that day, obviously. Then they'll be doing all that check. That will be a quick check, maybe 5-10 minutes. Then they'll be telling you to park your vehicle on the right side on that office, border service something agency, CBSA I think. So you will be going to that office. The officer will be asking for all your documents like passport, your visa submission, your permit submission application, your what are those documents, your transcripts, your completion letter, and your TRV. So all these things, you will be giving all these, handing over all these things to the officer. They'll ask you, are you okay with paying the fees for this, which is like 255 something Canadian. You will obviously say yes, and they'll be processing all the documents. If they're all valid, all proper, authentic, then they'll be asking you to deposit that fee via Visa card or MasterCard. You'll pay that fees, and if there's no problem with your documentation or anything like that, you will right away get your work permit there itself. If you have done a course for like 1 year, which is basically 8 months, academic duration is 8 months, you will be getting maybe a 1 year or a 1.25 year. If you have studied 2 courses here, 2 or more courses, like 2 years or more, you will be probably getting a 3 or a 3 point, between 3.3 or 3.5. So I just got my work permit there itself. It just took, maybe the total process maybe took 1.5 hours, and then I came back. I shared all those documents with my wife. She shared all those documents with the embassy and all. And finally, my wife has received her own spouse open work permit after 26 months. I'll be creating a new video for that, which is going to be a very detailed video, because I did everything on my own. I filed spouse open work permit. Basically, I filed my own student visa, then extension of student visa, then my extension of my TRV, then my work permit, then my this border work permit, flagpolling, and my spouse open work permit, my spouse's spouse open work permit. So I did all these things. So I'll be creating a new video for SOWP. But I'm so thankful to everyone who supported me, who prayed for me, and I'm thankful to God that finally my wife has got her visa, like visa stamped on her passport, and she'll be here in just 2 months. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any other questions related to this flag polling thing, directly shoot me a message on YouTube, or maybe you can contact me on Instagram. I live there with the same name, Religiously Fit. So do comment if you found this video useful for yourself. Please do like this video, comment, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening ahead, whichever time zone you're living in. Thank you. Bye bye.